White people knew it was up.
That album was motherfucking flames.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tells podcast. I am your host, Rod. I'm joined by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on an indictment Tuesday.
I've been right about all of it!
We got an indictment.
We've been right about all of it! Woo! Yes! Yes!
It's gonna get obnoxious up in here today. Okay, just letting y'all know. I just woke up from a nap. I have full energy. I went to sleep. I literally can't go to sleep without waking up to indictments. Nigga, you can't go a day without indictment? What's going on over there, Donald Trump? This man loved getting indicted. What is... I mean, I thought... I honestly called this a long time ago. I mean, what are we at? Year 3? When the fuck that was January 6th? The 2020? 2021?
2020?
I feel
I don't remember, but
it's been 80 years.
Right? That's how it feels. Shit.
Yeah, 2021.
What is time?
So that means we are over 2.5 years away from January 6th, 2021. I called it then. I've been patient. You know what I mean? When they said it was Merrick, I wouldn't listen to, like I said, I listened to a podcast about Merrick Garland. This is 2 years ago. And in the podcast, it wasn't about Trump. The podcast is actually about white supremacists and white supremacy. And this man hated. Okay? He hated a lot.
He ruled on it. He was like, I am not here for the shits, white folks.
He was like, I'm trying to get Timothy McVeigh. Yeah, he blew up them kids, but also he a white supremacist. I don't like that.
Don't like that shit.
I'm Merrick Garland and I don't fuck around like that. Now, look, he don't do bombastic interviews. He don't cut no wrestling promos.
He not high energy, but
right.
For you, baby, I think the thing about that man, I remember when Trump first announced him, and they have to come and they have to give this speech with that, because that was the first time I had ever been introduced to him. Not trying to be funny as a general public. Like I knew, I had heard about him, running for Supreme Court, and I get it, but first time I ever heard his voice and kind of heard him talk, and I give kudos to the lady that was initially gonna get a position, and she said, nah, I don't want that. I actually want to go and do the investigative part. I don't want to be the face of it. And she let him take that position because I think that he is the right white man for the job. They were going to bash whoever had that job no matter what. But I think that he is very soft-spoken. And I was actually listening to the words that was coming out of his mouth at the time he was talking, because words mean things to me, because you could be loud and not saying a motherfucking thing and not be saying shit.
When it was Robert Mueller, all my fucking friends fell in love with that dude. And I never, ever, we wasn't talking about the Mueller report on this show. It was going on the whole time. We was covering Trump every day. We had a whole segment called whose man is this y'all man or something like that. We wasn't even talking about that Russia shit. But not saying that it's not important or he didn't do anything, but it's different. Like this shit right here, I was like, what he did on January 6th, there's a lot of people in this country that's gonna take that personally.
Right.
It's not games. And I know Twitter is a doom scrolling, naysaying, cynical place. So, and some of these motherfuckers are grifters. They got paid off of telling y'all that wasn't shit gonna happen. Mm-hmm. But I've been listening to a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. The people I can take the most, honestly, because I don't watch. I literally stopped watching all cable news. I couldn't take it because they get paid to make you panic and have anxiety.
Yes, they do.
And also, these are fucking narcissistic egomaniacs themselves sitting behind that desk that want to take credit for shit they had nothing to do with. Like, I'm not even listening to it right now, but I have it on the background because I want to see their faces as they have to admit they were wrong. But I guarantee you're gonna see at least some of these people be like, it was the pressure that we put on him as a media that made these indictments come. No, the fuck it wasn't. So the people I listen to, Sister-in-Law, #Sisters-in-Law, great podcast, once a week, very knowledgeable women.
Great podcast. You will learn so much, y'all.
They have history going back to like Watergate and shit. And so listening to them break down stuff every week, it's a calming thing because they give you all range of perspectives. They have their people that are like gung-ho on like, let's go. But the difference to me is as they got more evidence, that obvious evidence, by the way, I'm not a fucking lawyer. I'm a layman. But obvious stuff like, oh, Merrick Garland is moving to indict this dude. And they just didn't spend the whole time naysaying and poo-pooing and trying to convince the world that nothing was going to happen. They want this man to face justice too. I know they finna be partying Saturday too. Cause get them. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think people's anxiety took over. And then there's people that for their own mental health, they shield themselves, I think it's subconscious. They shield themselves from the idea that maybe it'll be like the Mueller report. Maybe for some reason, Merrick Garland was going to get to the finish line and be like, guys, I just don't think I had the power to indict this man. Nothing he said has made me feel that way. He has literally said the opposite of that every time he's been interviewed. But fine, I think some people subconsciously want to protect their mind from disappointment. So they've been telling themselves, I don't want to have hope. But what's the fucking point of life without no hope? Not to mention that there should be a demand from us that this shit should happen.
Right. Because I think for me, I understand racism is real and white supremacy has fucked us up. I get it just across the board. But at the same time, y'all, there are white people out there that are like, fuck them white folks too, y'all. There are white people out there that are in power and in positions of authority that are like, I sat here and watched my country too, y'all. Yeah, I know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they like, I watched these motherfuckers go up there and fuck it up, and I'm not here for the shits.
This is literally what I voted for.
Right.
And like, I was old. You were old. If you were a citizen of the United States, you were old. If you voted for this, you were fucking owed this. So to me, it never was a consideration that this motherfucker wasn't getting indicted for trying to overthrow the goddamn government in our face. We all saw the shit. Like, I think the amount of people are so used to cynicism and disappointment for the last however long, and especially coming from the social media sphere, because it thrives off of that. You're not supposed to ever believe in nothing. You knew everything. Nothing good is ever gonna happen. It's a depressed hive mind, and that's why I stay away from them motherfuckers because they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. And all these motherfuckers today need to be eating crow. They need to be coming out here like, I actually been telling you for 2.5 years some shit I didn't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's a lot of these I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about people. And it wouldn't be so bad that they don't know what the fuck they talking about. But it's the fact that it was all evidence to the contrary. All these fucking indictments, all these fucking like talking to people around Trump. Motherfuckers, like, why are you meeting with these people if you're not gonna indict them for conspiracy on that motherfucking January 6th? It doesn't make sense to be talking to these people. The fact that people were searching for shit and it wasn't just the fucking documents. Merrick Garland, in every interview, we will follow this to the top. There is no one who is above the law.
He's been saying that. He said that from day one.
Especially when you know what he can't say. So he can't come out and be like Robert Mueller did, and I'm gonna get Trump. And like, you can't even say that shit. If you're gonna get him, you just need to make it look above board completely. And it is above board, but you have to. But in this country, this biased ass country, it has to look above reproach. You can't ever be like, I'm gonna get him. You've never heard Joe Biden talk about this case.
Right.
Why? You know why? Because he can't. He doesn't want to come out here and then the first thing Trump's lawyer is gonna do is play a clip of Biden being like, we're gonna get him. Don't worry, America, we out to get him. Like, no, we just following the case. We following the evidence. Are we gonna get him? Yes, we're gonna get him. But we're just following the evidence. We're just gonna continue to prosecute everybody involved. And so I've been waiting on this moment, but I knew it was coming. And like it was funny because I've talked to so many people that either refuse to admit it, that it was coming, or they're in denial, or they just don't want to believe, or whatever the fuck. But I don't see how you don't see today and go, okay, well, I've been wrong, and just let it go. Because don't you want this to happen? Didn't you want this to happen the whole fucking time too?
I think, truthfully, a lot of it is pride, a lot of it is ego, and a lot of people. I've come to the realization a lot of people don't like to admit that they were wrong. They don't like to admit their own personal flaws. And my biggest issue with a lot of those people is not the fact that they, were saying those things. I understand the self-protection mechanism and all that stuff. My problem with people online, they were fucking loud. Like, that's the problem I have. You were goddamn loud. I had to deal with you day after day after day after motherfucking day, regardless of the facts what facts you were shown, regardless of what happened. And that was frustrating to me. I'm like, just let that man do his job. And once, everything
But that's the thing, Karen. They got paid. I'm sorry to cut you off, but they got paid for those opinions. They got whole podcasts. They got TV shows. They get, like, you can't trust them motherfuckers either, because it's like you've been spending 2.5 years in denial of what was happening in your face. I'm not smarter than you. So my only choice is to believe you either A, subconsciously didn't want to believe, and so you made your emotions into facts, which is also whack, or worse, you saw what was happening and was like, I'm going to just keep denying it. And I low-key hope that Trump don't get indicted so I can sit back and be like, at least I was right.
Right.
But you were fucking wrong.
Right.
Like someone told me before I came on the show, they was like texting me, like, because, everybody was texting me when I got up from my nap because they was like, damn, you was right. It's like, I know I was right, motherfuckers. Like, I'll be right. That's the one thing I do. Okay? I only got like one job.
Rob is right. Yep, Rob is right. Rob is right. Rob is right. Yep, Rob is right. Yeah, Rob is right. Ooh, what was that again? Oh yeah, Rob was right. Rob was right.
So yeah, I'm gonna be a bit obnoxious for a second because I've been trying to pretend that everybody thoughts and emotions count for 2.5 years. Like, oh, I get it, buddy. But I'm like, nigga, I'm right, and I know I'm right, but let's just pretend that I'm not for a second so y'all can relax. But honestly, this was happening. It was supposed to happen. People got fat off of the shit saying that it wasn't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
made
now
a lot of money.
And now they owe everybody a bit of a man copa, a bit of shit, man. My bad. You definitely owe Big Dog Merrick an apology. Not that he even looking for one. He probably don't give a fuck about you, which is why he do his job and don't be saying shit.
Right.
But low key, they owe him one.
Yeah, they do.
Because see, it's
they
not
drug
just
his name through the mud.
And it's not just Republicans that try to discredit the office. You don't have to help them.
It was Democrats, and that's the part that really, really frustrated me because they wanted it both ways. You wanted them to do the job. You wanted them to do the job thoroughly. You wanted them to indict him. But at the same time, you wanted them to tell you everything they was doing, inform you, and keep you up. No, bitch, that's not how it works.
And also, it's like, we're not trying to indict him in the public opinion spirit. Right. That's what you do for your job with no power. That's what you do at your news desk or your podcast mic. That's public opinion. This the fucking court of law.
Right.
No, ain't nobody beholden to come out to you to come out and tell you every fucking step of this shit. When Mueller was doing that shit, you were on his fucking dick. I saw it. It was, to me, I was like, this man isn't giving me, I'm gonna go get Trump energy. But people wanted it so bad that as long as he doing press conferences and going before Congress every couple of weeks and updating us on oh, they found out this thing. Oh, it was a phone call with this thing. And at the end of the day, what'd he say? Well, I can't say, it's really not up to me to indict him. Well, who the fuck is it up to then, nigga? It's
right.
You the special investigator.
Right.
So
it's your whole job.
Right. So you did that. I feel like everybody should give Merrick his flowers. And before you try to move the goalpost to Jack Smith, who hired Jack Smith? Because that's the thing people try to do is like, well, it's not, not Mueller, I'm sorry. It's not Merrick Garland that did his job. It's Jack Smith. Nigga, who's signing them checks? It was assigned to Jack Smith by Merrick Garland.
Right. And people just want to erase him from the equation. And they just do not, for whatever reason, want to give that man credit for doing his job. I don't know what that man personally did to y'all, but y'all are like, no, not you. I don't get it.
And you know why they want to give Jack Smith the credit, or you know why? It's so they won't have to give it to Merrick. But you know why Merrick got Jack Smith is because the shit was getting too much about him.
Right.
And also Republicans who, I get it, Donald Trump's going to put up a salty defense that is not based in fact. So are the people, other fellow Republicans and shit. But I still feel like, just like Joe Biden does the same thing, there is a level of professionalism that you should run your shit with so that you have the integrity personally and in your office so that things are on the up and up. So if you're just going to say, listen, I'll go get I'll go get Jack Smith to be the person that arbitrates this so that you won't be able to say this is a personal attack from Joe Biden. He got orders from Merrick Garland, got orders from Joe Biden, and he went and prosecuted his political rival. You know what? No, we'll give it to Jack Smith. He's doing that right now. Just leave me out of it. It was a strategic move, and people didn't want to give it any credit. People were like, he's doing this so they don't have to press charges. Well, they did. They indicted this nigga. And it's indictment on top of indictment on top of indictment. This is the start.
Yes, it is.
This is the start. And I hope this shit is superseding. I really hope they do this one first. But he's toasting Georgia. New York's still on his ass. Like, this motherfucker just stay indicted. It's gonna be a problem. And it's so bad, Donald Trump's campaign or his PAC, his org, asked for $60 million back from a donation they made because they were like, can we get a refund? We need this money for a defense team.
No, I wouldn't give them shit back.
It's just, they gave it to some other terrible Republicans, so who knows who's going to get what back. But yeah, it's crazy. But I'm so glad that he came through. I needed this moment just so I could gloat. I knew it was coming. But it's like so many people were just talking shit and didn't know nothing. And talking shit, knowing stuff, but just it would be better for me if I got them clicks from saying anything gonna happen.
Yeah, because,
driving people up into a rage and a frenzy online.
Because my thing is this, all jokes aside, I know I didn't know nothing. Like I will admit I did not know anything. And I was kind of like most Americans learning the process as we went along. And looking at what was presented to me as we went along. And I am like you. There are a lot of people that are hopelessness. Like, they just don't have hope. I can't live like that. I refuse. What's the point of being here if you don't have no hope, zero hope, none? Like, for me, I can't comprehend that. I have to have something within me that gives me something to look forward to, something to push forward to, a goal or something. And I understand for a lot of people, misery loves company. And so a lot of these people are very, very miserable. A lot of these people have PTSD from Trump. A lot of people, because Trump really fucked a lot of people up. Trump fucked a lot of people up, and they will not admit they are fucked up from Trump. So Trump fucked it up where reality is so fucked up to people. Right is left and left is right and up is down and down is up, and they really don't know what's happening. And they, not trying fun, they have not really set their feet on solid ground and based what they do in reality.
It's his goal. It's a narcissist goal. It won. This is something I've been fighting for the whole time, which is I'm not letting these people have my reality. And it's not just right-wing people. It's your pessimistic left-wing people too. They will try to steal your reality from you. You gotta be able to look at shit in your own and be like, nah, my brain works and this is what the fuck is supposed to happen. I'm willing to be wrong, but I know what the fuck is right. And what's right is this motherfucker tried to steal the fucking election, and we all saw it. And if we saw it, then Merrick Garland saw it. If Merrick Garland saw it, Department of Justice saw it, Biden saw it, everybody saw it. Motherfucker they were going to make sure he got his day in court. The man I've been following also through all of this stuff, one of my favorite followers on Twitter is this dude, Kyle Griffin 1. He's a MSNBC executive producer, but he mostly just tweets like legal stuff. Like he's one of the dudes that tweets all the people that get indicted and prosecuted from January 6th, and he be tweeting shit like the speeches they have in courtrooms and
okay,
you
so he
know,
be come with like facts. He be like, look, this
yeah,
is what
like,
they said.
I
right?
guess he's either embedded in the courtroom or they just got sources that get everything to him so he can put it on his Twitter feed. So he had a lot of tweets today that I was retweeting. Charges against Trump, 18 USC S371, conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights, which that seems so broad and so evil. Like, I'm just against rights.
He is. He is. I agree. Rights. Just rights.
Like, that's like,
just wrap it up. Nice little package. Rights.
Conspiracy against rights. Yeah. He also have said they started breaking down who they think the co-conspirators are. So he has, I think, 6 co-conspirators listed in this like charge or whatever. And they were unnamed, but from the context clues, because they tell you in the fucking description of them, from the context clues, you can kind of tell who they are. Co-conspirator 1, an attorney who was willing to spread knowingly false claims and pursue strategies that the defendant's 2020 re-election campaign attorneys would not. They think that's Rudy Giuliani.
That would make sense.
Sound accurate to me.
And also, it's one of those things too, to where there's no loyalty. You know, Trump ain't loyal to them, and they are not loyal to Trump. And the thing is, the only time they're loyal to Trump is when they think they're going to get something out. Well, of Trump.
hold up. That I don't know that, because some people have gone to jail for Trump. He inspires a type of loyalty in these stupid motherfuckers. Now, hold on. A co-conspirator is not a person that has necessarily flipped. That's a person being charged. Like, that's another person being charged. That means the government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the government is saying, hey, your ass going to jail too.
Okay, I'm with you.
So they naming motherfuckers dead. So to me, I'm like, Rudy Giuliani, really? Now look, this could also be a thing where you flip later, because a lot of times, and I think just like the liberals that were saying, oh, it's never going to happen. There are Republicans, conservatives, even within the campaign, being like, they ain't never going to bring charges for real. So I'm just going to ride this shit out. Now I wonder, since these charges appear to be coming for everybody, you get named as a Cody and shit, I wonder if you start seeing people be like, well, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I do remember some things from January 6th.
All of a sudden, my memory got crystal clear.
Right. So I do wonder if that's going to happen. Co-conspirator 3, they think is Sidney Powell, an attorney whose unfounded claims of election fraud the defendant privately acknowledged to others sounded crazy. Nonetheless, the defendant embraced and publicly amplified co-conspirator 3's different information. So they knew. And we knew they knew. It was just, can you find evidence that they knew? And I'm like, if somebody's going to find evidence, it's going to be Merrick Garland and them. Because they're not just rushing the case. You know, it's not just politically motivated. Let's get this guy so he doesn't become president. I understand that's what most people are concerned with, but it can't be the basis of the criminal case, or else it's just a fucking, it becomes the witch hunt that it can't be.
Right.
They think Jeffrey Clark is co-conspirator 4, a Justice Department official who worked on civil matters and who, with the defendant, attempted to use the Justice Department to open sham election crime investigations and influence state legislators with knowingly false claims of election fraud.
Right, because they did that investigation because no matter what you think, shit just don't delete. Like, they're like, word, we have servers that holds on to the shit. You hit delete, it don't mean it's deleted here, bitch. So it's up in the cloud in the sky somewhere, and somebody was like, yeah, we got a 1,100,000,000 gigabytes. Good America was like, get to searching.
Yeah, and co-conspirator number, which one was it? We're at 5. An attorney who assisted in devising and attempting to implement a plan to submit fraudulent slates of the presidential electors to obstruct the certification proceedings. That appears to be Kenneth Cheesebro, which is a hell of a name.
Right?
Kenneth Cheesebro. Chessbro. So like they've been clocking evidence. Fucking Mike Pence. Some of this shit is based off of his notes. The special counsel obtained contemporaneous notes Mike Pence took on his meetings with Trump, according to the indictment, which cites that the notes as evidence underpinning this case. So Mike Pence is in there taking notes on the government fucking conspiracy, on a criminal conspiracy.
And that nigga turned around and had his people try to kill you. Get out of here.
Citing Pence's notes, it alleges Trump and his co-conspirators knowingly made false claims of election fraud in a January 4th, 2021 meeting and asked Pence to either challenge or reject the legitimate electors from 7 states.
Don't he know the rule? You don't take notes.
Right. Unless you plan on being a snitch ass nigga. The thing, because the thing for me with Mike Pence, he's a man with no country. Like, he came out today and put out a statement about how this just proves that nobody's above the law. Bruh, you've been covering for this man and we ain't forget. We all saw. This man called you every version of a bitch ass nigga. And you sat up there and carried water for this man. You millie mouth. This man had the gallows for you specifically. He turned the entire MAGA fan base on you.
On you.
The Oath Keepers, the 3%ers. They was at your motherfucking doorstep.
If they could have got a hold of you, it'd have been over.
You was hiding in the back with Nancy Pelosi and them.
Right.
And then you came out and were making every fucking excuse for this man for 2 years. For 2 years.
I don't want to hear that.
When asked directly about it, you got quiet as shit. Yo, race banning looking ass. Racist banning. Racist banning sat up there and just...
He does look like race banning, don't he?
Yeah, he just sat his ass up there and was like, yeah, no comment, basically. Every time people was like, yo, this man tried to kill you. Don't you think that's fucked up? And he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, come on, that's Trump. Like, he couldn't help himself, but now he's a man with no country because he has the same bigoted politics, but with no charisma.
None.
Even more, he's more of a cuck than Ron DeSantis.
Yes, he is.
He has less hope of winning than Ron DeSantis has of winning.
Mm-hmm.
So he has no fucking country. And now we find out it's your notes.
Your handwritten notes.
Nigga, you the one that was writing down all the illegal shit.
You the one to write down the minutes for the meeting.
And the thing for me, I'm glad he wrote it down. I think it's smart that he wrote it down. What I think is stupid is that he never just leaned into like, yeah, fuck Trump. If these niggas had my notes and I knew this indictment was coming, I'd be out here like, oh yeah, the whole time I've been like, fuck Trump. Now he trying to catch up on the back end, like, oh yeah, because no one should be above the law. What you mean, bro? You said he was above the law not too long ago. The judge today appointed is Tanya S. Chutkin. She's an Obama appointee. She's the only federal judge in Washington, D.C. who has sentenced January 6 defendants to sentences longer than the government suggested.
She is not with the shits.
Longer than the government.
They was like, yeah, Judge, we won't get 6. Fuck it, 3 years. She is not with the shit. She was like, bitch, y'all came up here and fucked up my city. I think not.
Mm-hmm. That lit.
And thought y'all was gonna take y'all asses back home? Nope.
Listen, the only judge.
She's not with the shit.
And here's what's even better. When she was certified, voted, and how they had to vote to certify the judge in the Senate, 95-0. You understand what 95-0 means in this fucking climate? 95-0. I
mean, everybody said yes.
Everybody who voted said yes.
So they know she qualified for the job.
95-0. We're talking Republicans. 100% of the Republicans who voted said yes. So you can't even pull the like, she not qualified. Well, why you vote for her then?
Right. Why did you vote for her?
Well, why you vote for her then? I'm just trying to understand. She got that energy.
They better keep his ass in jail because he come back out here. This gonna be a horror movie nightmare for his ass. He don't want to come back around here playing with me.
You love to see it. So that's a good sign. Cal put out a timeline from January 6th. On the evening of January 6th, the defendant and co-conspirator 1 attempt to exploit the violence and chaos at the Capitol by calling lawmakers to convince them based on knowingly false claims of election fraud to delay certification, including A, the defendant, through White House aides, attempted to reach 2 United States senators at 6 p.m. Now this is like after the vote.
Woo! They got times.
From 6:59, or I guess after the vote was supposed to take place. From 6:59 to 7:18 p.m., co-conspirator 1 placed calls to 5 United States senators and 1 United States representative. C, co-conspirator 6 attempted to confirm phone numbers for 6 United States senators whom the defendant had directed co-conspirator 1 to call and attempt to enlist in further delay certification.
What happened when people looked at somebody? I know somebody looked at that phone and was like, I'm not picking that motherfucker up. Woo, go to voicemail, bitch.
That call ID came up. Oh, not now, not now.
They was like, I don't know what's going on, but you ain't gonna get me wrapped up in this bullshit.
We all up here in the back office with the lights off. I don't think it'd be appropriate.
Right. You in there hover down and your
right. Is this Rudy Giuliani? Oh no, I can't answer this.
I'm getting shot at. You better get out of here.
Hey, keep in mind, co-conspirator 1 seems to be Rudy Giuliani. So that's who would have been on your phone. Hey, can we just talk for a second?
You know that shit was like, do not pick up.
You know they ain't leave no voicemails.
You know across that phone came Frankenstein shoes or some shit like that.
All right.
Big foot, little foot.
Actually, I'll take it back. Rudy Giuliani and them probably did leave voicemails.
You know they did? Because they that stupid.
Right. They done left every other trace of evidence out this bitch.
They're that stupid. You delete the shit and you go to AT&T. AT&T be like, here you go.
Sending text. In one of the calls, Rudy Giuliani, co-conspirator 1, supposedly, left a voicemail intended for a United States senator that said, we need you, our Republican friends, to try and just slow it down so we can get these legislatures to get more information to you. And I know they're reconvening at 8 tonight, but the only strategy we can follow is to object to numerous states and raise issues so that we get ourselves into tomorrow, ideally until the end of tomorrow.
So he was dumb enough to actually leave a fucking voicemail.
I almost gave them more credit than they deserve. I almost did.
Wow. Did he FaceTime them too? Shit.
Right. In another message intended for another United States senator, co-conspirator 1, Rudy Giuliani, repeated knowingly false allegations of election fraud, including that the vote counts certified by the states to Congress were incorrect, and that the governors who had certified knew they were incorrect, that illegal immigrants have voted in substantial numbers in Arizona, and that Georgia gave you a number in which 65,000 people who were underage voted. They were just saying whatever. He also claimed the vice president's actions had been surprising and asked that the senator to object to every state and kind of spread this out a little bit like a filibuster. Here's what I think is interesting that I think some people might have forgot. Wasn't it Ted Cruz that's like, it was some of these motherfuckers that still did like vote not to certify in the pocket.
You know what? Not trying funny. I could see Mayor Gala starting to investigate them. They were like, oh, you got a phone call? Okay.
Well, that's the best news about this thing today. I haven't got to that part, but my man Jack Smith said they not done indicting people.
Get them. I'm not trying to be funny. When this shit happened and the way that a lot of this shit went down and the way that some of them knew how to move around that bitch, somebody that knew how that shit functioned and knew how that shit worked gave some information away that they should not have. You got people picking up the motherfucking phone and the bitch not working. Somebody knew something and did something. Get them all.
So they not done. They not done. At 7:01 p.m., while Rudy Giuliani, co-conspirator 1, allegedly, was calling United States senators on behalf of the defendant, the White House counsel called the defendant being Donald Trump, to ask him to withdraw any objections and allow certification. Donald Trump refused. The attack on the Capitol obstructed and delayed the certification for approximately 6 hours until the Senate and House of Representatives came back into session separately at 8:06 and 9:02, respectively, and came together in a joint session at 11:35 p.m. at 11:44. This is nine minutes after it was already certified. Co-conspirator 2. Let me look up who co-conspirator 2 was. See if they said. All right, they don't. Oh wait, give me a second. Trying to see. I can't. It's hard to keep, guys. It's so hard to keep up with all these motherfucking criminals. Okay, it don't seem like they named who they think co-conspirator 2 is. All right. But co-conspirator 2 emailed the vice president counsel advocating that the vice president violate the law and seek further delay on certification. They wrote, I implore you to consider one more relatively minor violation of the ECA and adjourn for 10 days to allow the legislatures to finish their investigations, as well as to allow a full forensic audit of the massive amount of illegal activity that has occurred here.
No, Mike Pence was like, bitch, I'm not going to jail for you. No.
And that's really why he's a coward to me, because he's half in, half out.
Right.
You know, like he really was going to, and I don't know what his goal could be, because honestly, I know what he might think it is, but it was executed so poorly. What do you think is going to happen?
Right.
And I saw somebody say, like, if Ron DeSantis is smart, he'll jump on this. Like, he'll say, yeah, this motherfucker going to jail because he's so far behind in the polls. He has no chance of beating Trump, even with this indictment. The people will still vote for Trump over him in the Republican Party. And I said, yeah, but Ron's too stupid. He too dumb. You know what he been doing for 2.5 years? Aiding Trump in this.
Yes,
saying that this is a political witch hunt. Saying that Trump is being targeted. Saying the government and the DOJ is out of control and it's a political. He can't. He painted himself in a corner. This checkers playing motherfucker painted himself in a corner to where he either has to support Trump or shut the fuck up.
Right.
Because everything else is just going back on his word of, you know, Donald Trump, you know, I don't want him to go to jail. He just, you know, it's a shame what them Democrats doing. So he can't even play this to his advantage. Man, wrap your fucking campaign up and go home, wasting everybody's time. All you are is just a bigot. You just triple down on bigotry for nothing. For nothing, really.
You're not going to win.
Yeah, and I don't care if he really is a bigot and believes that stuff, or if he did it politically because he thought it was a way to catch up to Trump. Both things make you terrible to me.
Right.
Both things make you terrible to me. So it wouldn't matter which one it was. Honestly, if you don't believe in all this bigotry, but you're willing to do it for your campaign, that's actually worse than if you're a true believer. Like, to me, that is, like, you adopted all the worst parts of Trump and none of the charisma.
None.
You can't out-Trump Trump.
No, you can't. You just can't. What about, they don't understand that.
Like, you might as well have just came out and been like, honestly, what that party needs right now, no one's going to do it. They have no backbones. But what that party really needed right now is a Mitt Romney-ass motherfucker. They needed one. And I don't like Mitt Romney, but they needed somebody who goes against the grain.
Up and be like, fuck him.
They need somebody that goes against the grain enough to be like, I'm going to lead us in a different direction. Follow me out of this shit. That's what I mean, I don't want them to do this because it might work. But that's how you get like these middle ground white folks that low-key don't like Black Lives Matter and don't like all this woke shit, but they voting Democrat because they just think it's too far for Donald Trump to be president.
Right.
That's how you get them.
Yes, sir.
White people always been milquetoast like that. You just come out and be like, guys, I actually am not racist, but I'm still going to promote all the GOP bullshit. I'm just not going to be racist about it. They need somebody that will stand 10 toes down like that to get them an alternative to Trump, but none of them are. All of them are afraid of those voters. They all want that MAGA swing vote, and so they all compromise themselves, even the black ones. They all compromise themselves to a point where they can't separate themselves, because at the end of the day, you can't out-Trump Trump. So every version of, I'm going to be racist too, but I'm going to be a little more palpable, is a lesser version of Trump. They like that he's not palpable, you know? So yeah,
they want it straight. You trying to water that shit down. They like, no, I like my drugs straight.
Yep. My man Mike Fanone, the police officer that got beat up at the January 6th, like
he
assaulted.
spoke, right? Yeah.
He said Donald Trump spent his entire life fucking around and he's about to find out. I like to think that in some small way I played a part in this. I do like that Mike Fanone be talking that shit. He's an interesting dude because he seemed either apolitical or conservative. If you ever listen to interviews of him before he got his ass whooped on January 6th.
That shit changed. He was like, Oh, word! I'm just trying to do my job. Okay, fuck y'all.
Also, while this was happening, President Biden and First Lady Biden at the movies watching Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
They was at the movies. They
I
man,
don't blame them.
nothing to do with
They're
it.
gonna be tied up for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're gonna watch Barbie next.
Oh, okay. Co-conspirator 2 is John Eastman. Okay. All right. But yeah, oh man, so good. What a great day. What a great fucking day. Really got out of bed and was like, I can't wait. They also have some people that prosecutors list high profile officials who told Trump there was no mass election fraud, including Mike Pence, senior DOJ leaders that
Somebody
Trump
wrote that in the notes too.
probably Mike Pence knows. Senior DOJ leaders Trump appointed, the director of national intelligence, the DHS, the agency that oversees cybersecurity, senior White House attorneys selected by Trump. These are his people. State legislators and officials, state and federal courts. Everyone was like, it's not rigged, dog. What you doing? So he know. That's because that's the hardest thing to prove. And if they don't get him, it'll be just the fact that you can't prove that he knew. If he doesn't, if you don't have like a blatant moment of him like on tape somewhere being like, I know it's not fraud, but I don't give a fuck.
He's so stupid. I guarantee he probably is somewhere on tape.
Maybe, but it's just one of those. If that's the case, then it's an impossible case to win. If the only proof a jury would accept, or is him literally saying, "I'm still in the election," well, you have to prosecute, and you have so much evidence. Any common sense person looking at this would be like, this man coordinated this shit, because too many people are in his face like, what the fuck you doing? You have no evidence, and they have never presented evidence. Keep in mind, remember all those lawsuits that happened after the election? Because it wasn't just January 6th came out of nowhere. After they lost, Trump wouldn't concede. They did all these fucking lawsuits. It wasn't until January 6th failed that he rushed out of the White House and was like, oh, I concede, because he was like, the fucking feds is gonna come get me. Let me flee the fucking scene of the crime and take all these classified documents with me. But let me flee the scene of the crime. And that was the only time he left out of shame. Mm-hmm. But if it was, because I think it was another impeachment attempt too. Like,
yep.
If it wasn't for that shit, he wouldn't have left, and he wasn't there for the fucking inauguration.
Nope, the first president to ever not do that. No, he wasn't going to show up. He wouldn't have showed up no matter what.
Right. Jack Smith said the attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021 was fueled by lies. Oh my God. This is the third indictment against Donald Trump. Three. Go to jail. Oh man.
Yeah, he tried to take over this country, my nigga. And the thing is, America think that they above it all, and America, quote unquote, turn their nose at other countries when they be having civil wars and coups and all that shit. These niggas try to do a motherfucking coup, and people act like that shit was okay. It motherfucking was not
little coochie
okay.
Little coochie coup, little insurrectile dysfunction. Yeah, and the history with this judge, Tanya S. Chetkin, November 2021. She ruled against Trump when he tried to invoke executive privilege to keep his White House papers secret from the January 6th committee. She wrote, presidents are not kings and plaintiff is not president.
Right.
Energy. Let's go. Oh, man. I'm so excited, everybody. Like, I just feel vindicated. My phone is blowing up. I'm not even looking at these text messages. It's just text message after text message. Take a bow. Talk your shit. Good, yes. And like, honestly, man, I really feel like a lot of people that's supposed to be on quote unquote our side let their pessimism basically undermine the DOJ and Merrick Garland's integrity. And the reason that it bothers me is because what Republicans have done, especially Trump, has been an assault on the integrity of people doing their fucking jobs.
Right.
And this is not some like, I just have so much faith in the government and stuff. I don't really have faith in the government. I have faith in the people that do the job. And the ones that show that they do the job are the ones I fuck with. The people I vote for to do the job, those are the people I'm rooting for to do their fucking job. It's really that simple to me. Mm-hmm. There's one party in America that just does not want to do the job. They want to break things and they want to fucking run the coffers, and they all want to grift the country out of all the fucking hard-earned money that they take out for taxpayers.
Right.
And there's one party doing that, period. Ain't no both sides of that shit. Ain't no, it's just like this. I know you want to feel smart and say it's everybody. It's not fucking everybody. One side is doing way fucking worse. They've simplified it. They've gotten worse over our lifetime so that you don't even have to, you can be stupid now and understand, fuck, Republicans got to get out of office. This is crazy. It's not this bad when Democrats are in office. It's just that fucking simple. But what Trump did purposely was erode confidence. He hired fucking wolves to mind the hen house on purpose.
Yes, he hired people that was against the positions that they were in.
Yeah, he put an oil baron in charge of the fucking Department of Energy. And subconsciously, the effect it has on hopefully well-meaning Americans, people that I know, is that you start thinking like, this, none of this matters. It's not shit. And he's telling you the government don't work. It's not real. And he's making it a self-fulfilling prophecy. And you start going, yeah, the government's all bullshit, right? No. Because this is how it's supposed to work. Right here. Go to jail, nigga. Come to trial. Let's go.
Right. Hold people accountable, particularly in these positions, for their actions. Hold people accountable. Because the thing is, not trying to funny, normal civilian people couldn't do this shit. They would throw your ass in jail, lock away the key and all that shit. They would arrest you and they'd be like, go to jail and stay there for fucking ever. But, you know, for some reason, you know, people who can actually do a lot more damage than, not trying to funny, you as an individual could ever do in your lifetime can just walk away. No, be held accountable for your voters. People voted for you to be in that position. You need to be held to a higher standard.
You know who else ain't you know who isn't listed in this fucking indictment as a co-conspirator? Mark Meadows, the chief of staff. He's referred to as the chief of staff, not co-conspirator 7. Which makes some people feel like he up in there.
Might have to drop a dime on them niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Stop.
That shit. Sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
That makes sense because that nigga know the law. He was like, "Oh, y'all investigate? Okay, let me get y'all everything right now."
Down at the jail eating Popeyes, singing like a fucking bird.
Come on, they got him a 2-piece spicy,
looking like the dude that fold first on the first 48.
You know they got him some KFC. You know they got him some KFC. Why you bullshitting?
This nigga snitching,
and I don't blame him. I'm not going to jail for y'all.
He is singing. He is pointing out the CNB. Okay, he is doing it.
If you see him doing wrong, point him out. Point him out.
Oh,
if they getting indicted, point him out. Point him out.
Oh, he is pointing. Oh my God, he is out there pointing them out. We love to see it.
I told you. Me. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Is this thing on?
Right? Turn it up. I don't want you to make no mistakes when I start dropping names, and I don't want to have to repeat myself.
Just singing.
Is it recording?
Singing like Fantasia.
Child.
We love to see it. I'm sorry, it's a good day, man. I'm not letting nobody take my joy. I'm not letting nobody stop me from celebrating this shit.
Child, he up there. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Child, yes. Go on, get out of here.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, what a great day. But yeah, I just feel like Merrick did his thing, doing his thing, and still never took his foot off the neck of these January 6 people. So, like, I mean, that should have been clue number 75. This whole time that you've been saying he don't care, it's been fucking 30 months, if not more, since the insurrection. New people are still being indicted and going to jail all the time from all over the states. Like,
all 50 of them, my nigga.
They finding motherfuckers like, where's Waldo at this point?
Come on!
They just seeing like, he was in the frame for 3 seconds. Go ahead and enhance that. We got to find out his name. And they find the shit like, had a pink hat on. 30 months later, you getting that motherfucking warrant, you getting that knock on the door, you getting that indictment. Excuse me, buddy. You was wearing a pink hat on January 6th? Yeah, we got your ass too.
This picture you?
Right. This you.
That show with a big old blow up. You know how they show up with the clearance house check? For those of you that's old, the big ass clearance house check.
Yeah.
That show up with a big old one of them and plop it in front of your house going, this you?
Yep.
Come on out.
Donald Trump also got accused of asking a staffer to delete camera footage to obstruct the classified documents investigation. So he got hit with additional charges in that one too.
Oh!
Yeah. Oh, they on his ass. They are on his ass. How you don't love? If you don't love this, you don't hate him like me. And that's fine. But I hate this man.
Yeah. Like I said, the way I felt after that man got elected, that anger, that rage, that fire that I literally could not put out. That like it was really all consuming, y'all. I can't speak for nobody else, but I was fucking furious. I was mad. I was sad. I was depressed. I was irate, all motherfucking wrapped up in one. I will never forget. I just wanted to hurt somebody. Like, all jokes aside, like, I was upset. I will not forget. So I'm like, go get them all up.
Oh, so beautiful. Maybe we can all be friends again. Because honestly, if the fucking like naysayers will just admit like, yo, I was wrong. Okay, welcome back. I'm not gonna be petty. I know y'all would be petty if it was a foot shoe on the other foot, but I want people to enjoy this party. Come to the party. Welcome back. Let's party on Donald Trump going to jail. Party on this motherfucker having he gonna have a hard time putting campaign events because he don't have to be in court. He gonna have a hard time footing the bill for his own campaign because he's gonna have to pay court fees. And I wonder if at this point anyone is stupid enough to defend him in court without getting a check up front.
Nope.
I'm not saying no one would defend him in court.
Right.
Obviously people would.
Yeah, but
he be on some IOU shit. And the only IOU that's coming home for these motherfuckers is jail. Co-conspirator 1 through 6 lawyers that worked for him. Some of them pro bono. Rudy Giuliani sued this man to get paid and didn't get his money.
Right.
And now you going to jail for this motherfucker possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if his campaign can even do that IOU shit. I feel like if I'm a lawyer for Trump, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm going to need my money on the 1st and the 15th. I'm going to need my money literally every day. When we go into the court, I need my money up front.
My day's fee, whatever my day's fee is, right.
And if I don't get my money that day, you on your own.
You ain't getting represented.
Represent yourself, nigga.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You're going to have me looking crazy and not getting paid because people probably going to say I'm crazy for taking the case anyway. Bitch, at least I need to get paid for it.
Right. Anyway, we got to do some ads so we can get paid for this episode. All right, back on their ass. Rudy Giuliani also admits spewing lies about Georgia election workers who sued him for defamation. These are the Georgia election workers, I believe.
They got harassed. Them people trying to do their fucking jobs. These niggas showing up outside of them just trying to do their goddamn job.
Yeah, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, who also I remember Kanye West targeted them as well. 2 black women working in Georgia trying to help turn it blue, just doing their fucking jobs, really. And they tried to start a conspiracy because they were reaching for straws. So now Giuliani does not contest that such actionable factual statements are false. His lawyers wrote in a signed filing. Despite the admission, Giuliani 79 insisted that he should not be found liable because statements did not carry meaning that is defamatory per se, and that they are constitutionally protected statements or opinions. Motherfucker was working in the capacity of the fucking president at the time.
You're not nobody.
How doesn't it carry meaning? How doesn't it carry? How is it not defamatory to say these women were trying to steal an election in a charged up country that would have people on the doorsteps of the Capitol months later? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Right, having people showing up with signs, protesting, people scared. There are people that end up getting harassed that literally just basically was like, I can't go outside. I can't be online. Like they literally have gone underground. Like they I can't do anything. I'm scared to do anything. I can't, function. I got anxiety, all types of bullshit off of this. Be held accountable for that.
Right. So yeah, it remains to be seen if the latest legal strategy will satisfy the judge. But he also is facing possible sanctions from the District of Columbia for repeatedly failing to hand over information demanded by the election workers. He claimed without evidence that the two election workers were caught on video surveillance passing USB drives to help Biden cheat.
And none of this was true.
The pair testified under oath that it was actually a gingerment last month, and they were just looking for anything. It didn't need to be true. Last month, Freeman and Moss were cleared of any wrongdoing by Georgia investigators. Yeah, and that's another trial that Trump's facing.
Get him.
Yep.
Get him.
Let's see. Let's move off the election. Let's talk about some other things, guys. But I love to see. We had to talk about it. How could we not? Let me see. How long have we been talking? All right, cool. Damn, we did an hour on that? Okay. All right, us. Cardi B is now a suspect for battery after that Vegas microphone toss.
That woman threw that water at her. She was like, bitch, what?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm so fucking confused by this one because it's not the woman who threw the drink. It seems to be the woman who was next to the woman who threw the drink. And she claims the mic hit her too. So it ricocheted off the first woman and it hit the second woman, and the second woman is the one that's suing. If that's the case, I get it. Because while I understand why you was mad and threw your stuff, I ain't had shit to do with that. I was just being a fan and paid my tickets to be up there, and then I got hit in the face with a mic too. That ain't cool. So I don't know if it did any damage to the person, but yeah, I assume they're probably gonna get something out of court, possibly. I get it. Yeah, it was a rash action that does have consequences. I think what people thought happened at first was that the woman who threw the drink was suing,
right?
To which people was like, "No, you don't get to do that." But here's the part that I think was confusing, and I didn't see this. This is what people said. They were saying Cardi was asking for people to throw water on her as part of the show or something.
The way she responded,
I guess that person threw water at the wrong time.
I don't know.
I was so confused. I saw this in Kevin on Stage's mentions, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't even know why you would ever throw water on somebody. I don't know why someone on stage would ask you to throw water on them. So I'm just confused, and I didn't see that part of the video. So I'm not saying it didn't happen. It's just however it was edited or what was put out, they didn't show everyone was throwing water and then this woman got hit with a mic, because I guess in that 10 seconds in that clip, we just see the one person throwing water. So I don't know everything. Let's see what else is happening. Viola Davis halts movie filming amid strikes despite a SAG-AFTRA approval. So here's what happens. Some movie productions agree to SAG-AFTRA's terms, and if you do, you can get a waiver and you can film your movie right now. But so the terms that SAG-AFTRA is negotiating for, certain residuals, right. You can just say, we agree over at A24 Studios.
Some of the smaller studios, right.
And so there's been people who have been doing work if the individual production agrees. But shout out to Viola Davis. She said, I love this movie, but I do not feel that it would be appropriate for this production to move forward during the strike. So she said, I'm stepping away, which halts the movie because you can't film a movie without Viola Davis because she's always going to be the star. And I fucking appreciate it. And here's why. Because the companies, as much as I want actors to work, I would love for writers to work. These studios will rely on individual products to come out to float the industry, to extend the strike, to extend the work stoppage, essentially. Because what they're gonna say is, you know what? We'll still put out 100 movies. We'll still put out 180 movies as an industry. It's not like a million movies come out a year in the theaters. If we can still get like 180 movies out, that's enough for us. And so each company could decide to be like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just agree on the movies we think are gonna make a lot of money. So we'll agree on the Marvel movies that SAG-AFTRA we'll treat you right. But the rest of these motherfuckers, fuck them. We not coming to the table.
Right.
So I kind of think she's on to something. I wonder if we'll see more big name actors, especially those who can afford to kind of do it. And I get it. It sucks. It just fucking sucks for the other actors that have to halt production and don't get paid, but it is a strike.
Yes, and the thing is about Viola Davis, I listened to her audiobook on Audible, and she talked about some of the things about the actors. And she talked about talking to a lady who got excited that she had just qualified to get insurance. She talks about how most of the actors do not make insurance. Like they don't make no money, and it's very hard to make a living off of it. So I think this thing actually hits her at her core. And it's one of those things where it speaks volumes when somebody was like, hey, I know what y'all said, but I'm not doing this because I'm benefiting from it. She's probably watching so many other people not, that she's like, I can't in a good conscience do this, So I don't blame her. And I know they all won't, but I hope that more of them start doing this, because you went on strike too, along with the writers. So that means you want better pay. And a lot of times the unions, all jokes aside, the unions aren't actually for the people that make the most amount of money. A lot of times the unions are for the people at the lower end, because it sets a floor. It sets standards, it sets pay raises, or whatever the case may be, where people can actually make a decent living. And so it's one of those things where in order for this thing to stay strong, we literally have to be in this as a collective, as a complete collective. And it's sad and it's frustrating when you see people, say things and you're like, well, your unit decided to do this and you're actually benefiting from this labor force, but yet you have a problem with that. And it's like, well, they voted for it. This is what you're going to have to do.
Yeah, I just appreciate Viola Davis for this. Like, it's just it's solidarity, even though some people will think it's like, oh man, she should have did that. I think she's looking at the bigger picture. And I appreciate her for that, because if we're gonna fry the people for saying the dumb shit, we should give people props for being smart and saying good shit.
Correct.
Because Steve Amell, aka the Arrow, the Green Arrow, he said some shit about not supporting the strike, and then had to come out and put out a statement apologizing, saying he didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about.
Why are you talking then? Why are you talking? Why are you talking?
Right.
Because you look crazy. You just spewing shit.
Speaking of, this is a random episode. I'm high. Let's just talk. Speaking of just talking, I saw something on Twitter that I thought was so interesting. This person used clips of old Howard Stern interviews and was like, essentially Howard Stern doesn't get, like, it's funny how basically Howard Stern never really dealt with the outrage from what he used to do. And, it was like a rage aggregation tweet where you're trying to bring up some old shit to be like, look at this shit. Isn't it funny that Howard Stern never really got anything, they do the same thing with America's Next Top Model, where they pull up especially a clip even by those days standards, the clips were shocking on purpose. But they pull them up today as if they weren't shocking. Like, no one even cared.
Right.
We just let Tyra get away with anything.
That show went #1 for no reason.
But it's not just that we didn't let her get away with anything. It was the point of the show.
Right.
Like now you're pulling up the content like somehow they slipped it past us. Like, no, people tuned in to watch those people get insulted.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons to this day, and I'm not knocking y'all who are into it, one of the reasons I don't really do competition shows. I don't like them. They're fucking mean normally for no fucking reason. Other than, I hear the British ones are good, but now it's 20 years too late for me. I'm out the game. But they're normally just fucking mean.
Right.
And because when you bring on the fucking bar rescue, it ain't an episode till he cuss out the bar owner. If you bring him on Chef Gordon Ramsay, he gotta fucking call you an idiot sandwich or some shit. Or else they ain't gonna get ratings. Apparently, they don't even do that in the other countries where he films.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what they say. They say he do that for his American show. And over there, he kind of chill, supposedly. I don't watch either one at this point, but
okay, I've seen him, yeah.
But, so, anyway, all this stuff to say, I thought it was, I don't know, kind of stupid. That this person was trying to say, well, Howard Stern doesn't get enough flack, and he didn't get enough flack. Howard Stern, I was old enough, and we're getting to this age. I was old enough to watch the history that you're trying to rewrite.
Yes,
I was old enough to remember it.
Yeah, a lot of people felt that he was a shock jock of his time. People were very upset at him. People were very outraged at him. He used to have women coming out there pulling out their tits. People was like, get this nigga off the air.
He was all, I don't want to say the first, because it's more about the fact that I don't know that he was the first.
Right.
But he was definitely the first shock jock to blow up like he did.
Agreed.
Because he became a cultural icon.
Mm-hmm.
Partially, if not totally, because he was so shocking. And he did get fired from multiple gigs. Well, I remember when his movie came out, and the basic conceit of the movie was whether people love you or hate you, as long as they're talking about you, they count as a fan. And as long as they keep tuning in to see what you'll say next, you got them. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, he's openly about just, I got you.
Yep.
I don't care. Mm-hmm. And whether it was asking celebrities about their titties or asking, asking actors about sex or bringing on skits and shit that was offensive and all that shit.
Purposefully too.
It was all by design. So it was wild watching somebody try to retcon him. And then to be like, what he needed was more hate. And it's like, that's how he got to where he was.
Right.
He one of the most hated ever, took that hate and rode it to fame and power and success and money and celebrity. He did that because y'all don't know when to ignore a motherfucker and when to go in on somebody. And he was one of the first person. I'd say he's the blueprint. This is what made me think about it. How is he not the blueprint for your Joe Rogans, for your fucking Joe Buttons, for your all these podcasters that now do either quasi Charlemagne, Wendy Williams, all these people that have taken up the mantle of, I need to say something offensive every once in a while. As long as people going viral, I win. I don't really care if y'all like me or how I look. And the difference with Stern, I think, is he, for lack of a better term, matured.
Yeah.
He got his money, all that shit. Sirius Radio gave him a shit ton of money. Mm-hmm. Still broadcast to this day.
I'm about to say, he like a staple over there. He ain't going nowhere.
If you keep up with Howard Stern, he's now still kind of a shock jock, but he's shocking conservative people. A lot of his old fan base still listens, but they hate him because they thought he was quote unquote one of them on their side. And he didn't, in my opinion, get away with racism, and he didn't get away with misogyny. I think people know he's misogynistic, know he was this, and then he literally either had a change of heart, softened. Like there's a bunch of reasons he claims Robin having cancer is one of the reasons. He hates Donald Trump. That so you have to be careful not to confuse people that hate Donald Trump with necessarily being on your side. But
Right.
he hates Donald Trump. Huge hates anti-vaxxers, and he named names over there. By the way, like Howard Stern not scared. He big enough to not have to be scared. He be like, "Fuck
Right.
Joe Rogan."
Right. I got enough
Fuck
money.
he gonna do?
Right.
Fuck he gonna do to me? I'm Howard Stern. Fuck him. So I just thought it was interesting to see someone try to this is what the tweet said. I still don't feel like Howard Stern ever got the hate he should have for that bullshit for the bullshit he put women through. What are you talking about? He only got hate. That's what the fuck.
I can say, how old is this person in their 20s?
Right.
Like sometimes people bring this shit up. This shit happened. Sometimes 40 niggas was born. It's like, well, then you don't even remember what happened during that time.
Right. So it's just, I thought that was such an interesting thing. It's random as fuck. It's just my Twitter experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, man, because I see that all the time. Seeing that shit with Tyra Banks is just another one for me. Where I'm like, y'all want to re-legislate it and be like, I'm mad all over again. And that's the goal, is to get us mad all over again. We're supposed to get, you couldn't find some new shit to make us mad, so you went and found some old shit to make us mad. And hopefully you get all the likes and the retweets and comments on that.
Early one Sunday morning. Bam, bam.
Let me see. Was this a Sunday?
I don't know.
It was.
Sunday morning, people
Sunday morning
are
Twitter.
bored as shit. Like Sunday morning is when the most ridiculous, outlandish shit hits online. It's just something about waking up on Sunday. The rest of the week, cool. But Sunday morning, people are like, what can I do to aggregate, irritate something?
Yeah. Aggregate and irritate. It's been, I just thought that was an interesting thing to see the other day. I was just like, wait, what the fuck? No. You're telling me Howard Stern didn't get hate?
Right.
Come on, buddy. The fucking first hate aggregator, basically. It's like, please hate me more. I'm gonna say some more dumb shit tonight. Motherfucker had a TV show for his radio show.
Yes, he did.
Back in the day. And I remember, I forget what channel it came on, like A&E or E or something. I think it was A&E. And I remember watching that show, and they would just pixelate everything. You weren't ever gonna see anything actually sexual on there.
Mm-mm.
But like, it would just be dumb shit like that. Like, pull your titties out. And people, I'll pull my titties out. And it's like, oh my God, she's pulling her titties out. And it's all pixelated. You're not seeing a goddamn thing.
No,
but it
you're
was
not.
like, oh my God, this is so edgy for the radio. Morning radio. Howard Stern is getting people pull their titties out.
They said it was on E.
E, thank you. So yeah, I knew it was one of them. And they pulling out titties, talking to porn stars, getting
That
people
was the
to
catch.
that
was the hook.
bringing on people that were just mentally and physically disabled and doing segments with them. Like, it was anything goes trash TV radio. So the idea that no one was outraged, boy, go pick up a book.
Boy, stop.
Look up, Google an article. Everybody was outraged all the time, and he just didn't give a fuck. And that's honestly the lesson that all these fucking shock jocks of today have learned. Just don't give a fuck.
Don't care, because that's how you beat the Matrix. Because when you don't care, there's nothing that they can do.
Right. All right. Let's move on.
Child, they had like a live my best life.
Right. Let's move on. Let's wrap this thing up. I really just only want to do this show to talk about Trump.
Okay.
Because, man, fuck him. That's why. Fuck that nigga. Y'all don't hate the same as me, man.
No, you don't.
Like, I'm one of the most positive, hopeful people, blah, 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 all that shit. Most balanced, focused. I try not to give in to petty and all that, but come on, man. I can't be the only dude on fuck Trump. Alan, it's no way.
Oh, no, you're not. You're not. I think that a lot of people who like to quote unquote have these higher morals and standards and shit. So they go, well, I don't want to go that far. Child, like I said.
If not him, who?
Child. because he deserves it. He has done everything. He took people's rights away. He put people in office that's going to fuck up this country for the next 45 years in the Supreme Court.
Right.
Like the shit that he has fucked up will be dead and gone, and people will still be living under the consequences of this nigga. You should be outraged. You should be outraged. We had a whole ass pandemic. Fucking America was goddamn number one. This bitch knew that this shit could affect the air. He was like, nah. Yet you're not mad?
He's most of the reason y'all don't trust the CDC right now.
Right. Somebody
Just when I thought it
shit.
wasn't getting no sicker. Woke up one morning and heard this weird ass motherfucker talking out the side of his neck. Me and all my peoples, we always thought he was straight. Influential motherfucker when it came to the business. But now, since we know how you really feel, it's how we feel.
Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, nigga, fuck Donald Trump.
All right, man. Well, that's been our show today. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you for listening.
We appreciate you. We'll be back later on throughout the week. Don't worry about it, YouTube. Send the money to Nipsey, Hustle, and YG. We don't want it. Take the ad money. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Nation of Islam ain't tried to find you. Have a rally out LA, you know what's up. Home of the ride, the king ride, we don't give a fuck. Black students, ejected from your rally. Well, I'm ready to go right now, your racist ass did much. I'm about to turn Black Panther. Don't let Donald Trump win, that nigga cancer. He too rich, he ain't got the answers. He can't make decisions for this country, he gon' crash us. No, can't be a slave for him. He got me appreciating Obama way more. Hey, Donald, and everyone that follows, you gave us your reason to be president, but we hate you. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, nigga, fuck Donald Trump. I don't like your ass. Yeah, fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, I really fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, nigga, fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, fuck Donald Trump. Yeah.
Nigga, am I tripping? Let me know. I thought all that Donald Trump bull.